Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH the Flame Emperor episode number 121 based on novel. So let's start. Not far from the place where Xiao Yan and the Gore-fiend energy clones fought, the Temple of Medusa. The temple is filled with the smell of ancient silence, as if everything contains a very solemn murderous intent. What's going on? Why can't we get out of the Temple of Medusa? The silent passage was filled with a terrifying smell of sand, and then he snorted coldly, and the figure with an extremely ugly face was the first to speak to break the silence. Isn't it the one who spoke, the current King Xianling of the Xianling royal family? Don't worry. Yi Mo said directly. There are too many secrets in this Medusa temple. We have been here for a long time, but we haven't found anything suspicious. I suggest that we go back first and have a long-term plan. Xian Ming on the side retreated. It's no wonder Xian Ming has such an idea. After all, in this Medusa temple, the three of them saw nothing but thousands of skeletons. Entering here for a long time, I walked back and forth here, and I never found any secrets, which made King Xianling and several others stumped. Absurd. We've already reached this stage, how can you retreat so easily? King Xianling was shocked, and said coldly to Xian Ming. In my opinion, since we entered this Medusa temple, we have been circling for too long, and we have been circling here. I am afraid that we have been here for several years. As we walked along the way, Yi Mo he kept looking at the mysterious stones full of serpentine characters around him, and said deeply, "How many years?" King Xianling, who was still a little persistent, immediately weakened when he heard the words. Because King Xianling knew that although he wanted to use the power of the seven-colored swallowing python's blood to devour the holy flame in the underground palace, it has been so long since he came to this Medusa temple, let alone the colorful swallowing python. I haven't even seen a Medusa, it's extremely weird. After all, King Xianling has to deal with all kinds of problems, so if he is stuck here for a long time, it is obviously not a wise choice, and I can feel that a very tyrannical prohibition has been placed in this Medusa temple. I am afraid that the non-fighting immortals will not be defeated. Before the Xianling king could speak, Yi Mo said solemnly. The three of them have been around this Medusa temple for dozens of times since the war, but no matter how they used their skills, they could not escape or find any clues, so that the three of them delayed. Trapped here. Wait, this Medusa statue doesn't seem right? King Xianling immediately understood the seriousness of the matter and stared carefully at the lifelike Medusa statue in front of him. A strange feeling emerged from the bottom of his heart. That feeling seems to be an ancient alien beast, from which terrifying pressure radiates. King Xianling? Xian Ming asked tentatively. I think I know why we've been standing still. The problem should come from this statue. King Xianling patted Xian Ming on the shoulder, and his heart became slightly hot. Statue. Yi Mo and Xian Ming heard the words and looked at the statue of Medusa standing quietly in front of them. It has extremely terrifying deep-colored pupils. As for the hair, it is like a wavy curl. The graceful curves all over the body, even if it is a statue, it exudes a natural enchanting color. These eyes, it seems a little weird. King Xuanling's body shook, and then the power of dazzling flames suddenly condensed on the palm of his hand. Go. The power of flame just came into contact with the standing statue of the Medusa family, and suddenly disappeared like moths to the flames. At that time, King Xianling was also at a loss. It's just that the Xianling king and the others didn't find out. As he came out like this, there was a sudden flash of change on the Medusa statue, as if something inside had awakened. Captain, this place is really mysterious. Apart from finding some gold and silver jewelry, we haven't seen anything else. How can this be? Opposite the place where the Xianling king and the others disappeared, a few hungry people from the Bloodblade mercenary group slowly appeared. It's really weird here. It's been a long time since we've been in here, but no matter how we move forward, we'll just stay where we are in the end. The scarred man stared at the strange space of the Medusa temple and said, Originally, we entered this Medusa temple just to restrain our wealth. Tang Tang said slightly, but his pupils were flashing with some strange light. Captain, although you are right, being able to enter this Medusa temple, whether it is the scales or the blood of the Medusa family, is something of infinite value. If we can get a drop by luck, then we will be successful in the future. The scarred man smiled, but his heart was extremely greedy. I wonder what happened to the little guys with us. I always feel that they are not easy, and the alchemist named Xiao Yang is the most dangerous. Tang Tang shook his head and said, However, the Medusa temple is far from being as peaceful as we imagined. It is also to prevent the treasures of the Medusa family from being taken away by outsiders. But why does it make me feel a chilling feeling? Tang Tang wondered, because I don't know why, every time Tang Tang probed the depths of this Medusa temple, there was an extremely terrifying depth there. The power surged out in an instant. That power, like an extremely powerful force that wipes out everything, is eerie and cold. The space in the Temple of Medusa, here, is a rather mysterious scene. A huge sky-swallowing python slowly swam. Above its body, the faint power of 10 colors was extremely terrifying, and then it looked at the figure above the sky. I didn't expect that we all succeeded. Shutsai Tiantian Python stared at the terrifying power above Chenying, and suddenly let out a sigh. I'm about to wake up. The next moment, Shutsai Tiantian Python saw the power of Shutsai burst out above the shadow, adding a lot of color to this space. Boom boom boom. The terrifying power of 10 colors spread throughout the entire space, and then the shadow stretched her waist slightly, and her demonic pupils exuded deadly power. Xiaoshe, go, I can sense his breath, he is in danger. Chenying just opened her bewitching pupils, and suddenly a monstrous force burst out and then slowly came out voice. There was a hint of urgency in that ruthless Chenying's voice. Hey, Xiao Yan, I never imagined that the queen's ruthless personality was influenced by you. After Shutsai swallowing python finished speaking, she instantly caught up with Ma Chenying. Forget it, take these things and go quickly. I always feel that there is something to discover. Tang Tang did not hesitate, took some gold and silver treasures, and then went to the Medusa temple, where it seemed to be the exit of the Medusa temple. Hey, there seems to be something on the statue of Medusa. Xian Ming suddenly found something and was shocked. Where is Xiao Yang? With a cold snort, a force of 10 colors that the world surrendered to him instantly emerged. Immediately above Chenying, a terrorist attack containing the power of 10 colors kicked out directly, attacking Xian Ming. Seeing this, Xian Ming, who was still in shock, saw the fighting chi in his body pushed to the extreme, but found that he could not resist the attack no matter what, as if the fighting chi in his body had solidified in front of this power. Immediately, Chenying was kicked out of the Temple of Medusa. Colorful sky-swallowing python. At the next moment, the pupils of King Xianling, who had just retreated, shrank tightly. Only in front of him, a figure wrapped in the power of 10 colors slowly appeared, and the ruthless aura around him an exhibition without a doubt. As the closed Medusa temple was kicked out by Chenying, a conspicuous passage on the wall of the Medusa temple was kicked out by it. As for Xian Ming, he was kicked unconscious by Kaylin. Damn it! King Xianling raised his head and stared at the beautiful shadow slightly. I saw that Chenying's body was wrapped in a force of 10 colors, and there was no clue at all from the outside. King Xianling also tried to investigate Chenying, but King Xianling was surprised to find that no matter how hard he tried, his power would not be able to break through the power of 10 colors. On the power of 10 colors, the terrifying power of isolation instantly emerged. Is this woman the colorful sky-swallowing python? But what's the matter with the power of 10 colors on that body? In this power of 10 colors, there are so many attributes. King Xianling couldn't help frowning. Xian Ming. Seeing this, Yimo's heart sank, and then his figure moved and flew directly towards Xian Ming, who had passed out. Upon seeing this, King Xianling immediately escaped from the Temple of Medusa, and then went to Xuanming's side. As for the color scales and the 10-color swallowing python, they are located in the Medusa temple, quietly watching the escaped Xianling king and a few people. What should I do now? Shutsai Tiantian Python said to Kaylin. After all, I am a companion spirit snake, so I still have to focus on the color scales. No, I have to save him first. Kaylin said coldly, with a rare stubbornness in her voice. There are other people in this temple of Medusa. It seemed that he noticed something, and then the 10-colored swallowing python suddenly found a few Tang Tang people in the temple of Medusa, and immediately shot them away. There are enemies. At the next moment, Tang Tang was the first to discover the 10-colored sky-swallowing python, but the latter's terrifying strength, even Tang Tang, was slightly struggling. Breaking into the temple of Medusa. Death. Since the 7-colored swallowing python evolved into the 10-colored swallowing python, it immediately understood the grievances between the Medusa family and the Xianling royal family, and immediately shouted angrily. Damn it! Tang Tang's face became solemn when he saw this, and then he was ready to deal with the 10-color swallowing python. Even if he lost, he could only delay time for his own companions. You go first. Tang Tang said decisively, without any hesitation in his voice. Do not. Captain, we will live and die with you. The scarred man and several of his subordinates have not been to Tang Tang for a day or two, so they have no intention of leaving. Go. Tang Tang's voice increased a bit. As soon as he finished speaking, the medicinal pill prepared by Xiao Yang instantly appeared in the palm of his hand. You guys go quickly. I'll hold it back. Tang Tang knew that he couldn't deal with this terrifying 10-color swallowing python, and a random blow from the 10-color swallowing python might be enough to kill him. This is. Just when Tang Tang was in a hurry to swallow the medicinal pill and was about to go all out, the figure of the 10-color swallowing python turned into a woman, casually skipping in front of Tang Tang, and grabbed the medicinal pill in his palm. Passed. It has his taste on it. Shutsai Tian Python said familiarly. Among the medicinal pills, there are still bursts of medicinal incense, and Xiao Yang's as many as 20 kinds of different fires were refined, which is very distinguishable. Well, Kaylin's eyes have never left Tang Tang and several people. Out of a woman's intuition, Cai Tun seems to think that Tang Tang knows Xiao Yang. What's the relationship between Xiao Yang and you? Cai Tun's figure moved, regardless of the Shenling King, and directly stepped through the void and came to Tang Tang. Are you fighting immortals? Tang Tang looked up at the mysterious woman with difficulty, and a murderous intent slowly radiated from her shadow. Having a relationship with him, it's considered a team. What about these pills? Brother Xiao Yang is generous. These things were given to us when he was our team's alchemist. Humph. Tang Tang and Kaylin's strange dialogue echoed in this temple. Let's go. After Kaylin heard the words, she immediately became friendly towards these people. He's still so adventurous. With a light hum, it turned into a sound of boundless terror that echoed throughout the temple. What is the relationship between this mysterious woman and Xiao Yang? A mysterious powerhouse at the level of Dozian, it seems that Xiao Yang's background is not small. How can Tang Tang not understand what this mysterious woman is doing? This is clearly because they have a relationship with Xiao Yang. For the sake of it, I let them go, otherwise this time, there is no need to say more about the fate of Tang Tang. Go. Tang Tang glanced at each other, and then they were not in this crisis-filled Medusa temple, they went directly to the gap and disappeared quickly. Damn it. What exactly is going on? This woman's strength has actually reached the level of Dozian? When did the Medusa clan appear to have such a level of power? King Shenling swept out of the Medusa temple, came to the fainted Shenming, and probed slightly away, and found that Shenming was only temporarily lost. With the power of action, there is no fatality, and immediately heaved a sigh of relief, because no matter what, this Shenming is one of the few strong men in the entire dragon-loving army. The third-ranked Joshing Dodi. If there are any flaws in this, I am afraid that King Shenling will not be able to eat and walk around. After all, King Shenling is not the only one who covers the sky with one hand. King Shenling, didn't you say that you have figured out what's in the Temple of Medusa? What's going on? Yimo shouted to King Shenling, who was standing beside him, holding back his anger. Laro Yi, I do know some secrets in the Medusa temple, but all I know is that there is a colorful swallowing python in the Medusa temple, but I never knew that such a powerhouse would appear. King Xuanling's face was extremely ugly, as if he had eaten durian. I am afraid that the strength of this mysterious woman has reached the level of fighting immortals. Yimo calmed down in the next moment because Yimo knew that now is not the time to fight in the nest. Once the Medusa clan is mysteriously strong if he takes action, I am afraid that with the strength of Yimo and King Shenling, they cannot resist. After all, that mysterious woman is a real fighting immortal. The gap between the real Dozian and the half-immortal powerhouse is not even a little bit, and what's more, they are only 2 9-star Do Emperors. Master, this King Shenling will not be killed now, but in the future. Shutsai Tian Python did not feel any surprise when he saw Kaylin let go of Tang Tang and a few people, but said to King Shenling calmly, "It's too late, I have to save him first. As for these people, I'll talk about it later." A dignified look appeared on Kaylin's shadow, obviously feeling the danger Xiao Yang encountered, and immediately ignored the Shenling King and the others. The jade hand was slightly raised, and it was easily swung towards the void around him, and the space was instantly torn apart, and a space crack appeared that did not know where it was going. Go. Kaylin snorted coldly, and immediately rushed in. Although Shutsai Tian Python was extremely unwilling, he had no choice but to follow people. They look like this. It seems that he is going to save people. King Shenling immediately understood when he saw the mysterious woman with a wrong expression. Let's go, it's time to settle the matter of the Medusa family. There is a strong immortal warrior in the Medusa clan. I am afraid that the situation of Shentian Santian will be greatly changed. After the Shenling King finished speaking, he directly swept up Shenming, and then quickly disappeared in the desert of death. With the shocking explosion in the Temple of Medusa, it suddenly spread throughout the entire desert of death. Somewhere in one of the 9 major tribes of Medusa, an elderly man slowly stomped on a snake-headed cane, then squinted and looked into the distance. Boom, boom, boom. A terrifying explosion sounded, and the old man's pupils suddenly flashed with surprise. That is the direction of the temple of Medusa. This volatility. That little guy actually succeeded. My Medusa clan has gone through countless clansmen, but I haven't cracked the secret of the Medusa temple. I didn't expect it to be cracked by a little foreign doll today. But it's okay, it's time for me, the Medusa family, to take care of it. The old man was actually Shifu. Pass my order to hold the highest level meeting of the Medusa family. Our Medusa family, it's time to elect a king. After Shifu finished speaking, his pupils flashed with a strange look. Following Shifu's order, the entire Medusa family was busy, because they all knew that there seemed to be some kind of creature in the Medusa temple, and that creature made the blood in the deepest part of their bodies surrender to it. In the shattered void where Xiao Yang, the lonely desert of death, is located, Xiao Yang and the Gorfian's energy clone were inseparable. If it weren't for the fact that Xiao Yang had just swallowed the holy flame, his strength had skyrocketed, and with the assistance of Long Yi and Xinyan, I'm afraid Xiao Yang would really not be able to deal with this Gorfian's energy clone. This Gorfian's energy clone doesn't know why, although the projection power came to the Dodi continent, but at best, it is only a powerhouse who blindly completes the 8-star duty. However, RAO was like this, and it also brought a lot of difficulties to Xiao Yang. Asshole. This Gorfiend is so terrifying with just such an energy clone, then if the real Gorfiend comes. Xiao Yang wiped the blood on the corner of his mouth, and then swallowed a large amount of pills directly, gasping. I can't say the same. After all, the power of the blood demon's energy clone is suppressed by the plane, so it can't release much power. Also, although I am Shenyang, my peak strength is the peak of the Do Emperor. It was fine at the beginning, and my strength reached the 7-star Do Emperor consummation, but now I don't know why, my strength is exactly the same as yours. I think it has something to do with the burning in your body. Your strength has suppressed my strength. Xinyan said to Xiao Yang. Don't you exist alone? Xiao Yang asked in surprise. I can change it to another existence of Holy Flame, because Holy Flame was swallowed by you and turned into a part of your fighting chi, although I don't know why there are 23 kinds of flame fighting chi in your body, but my Holy Flame is a part of your fighting spirit. The power of flame is integrated into your fighting spirit. Xinyan said. After talking so much, you just want to say, if you want to increase your strength will also increase. Xiao Yang asked rhetorically. Yes, this is the horror of our holy flame spirit, which has unlimited potential just like the burning dew in your body. Xinyan said firmly. Don't talk about it, this Gorfiend seems to be preparing for the final attack. Just when Xiao Yang and Xinyan were about to say something, the already scarred Long Yi said weakly. Although Long Yi's strength has now recovered to the half-immortal level, he is not very useful against the Gorfiend, because Long Yi's attack on the Gorfian's energy clone can be completely ignored. One side is the energy clone, the other side is the soul power. The two have different attributes. Naturally, Long Yi can't hit the Gorfiend left, but the Gorfian's evil attack is attacking Long Yi. This is the most angry. Humans, I have to say that you are actually able to resist my attack with the strength of the late 6-star Do Di, which is enough to show your evil spirit. But my blood demons can exist for such a long time, not only by absorbing fresh blood. If you can't use it for me, then you will perish. Blood demon Gold Chi. Get up. Gorfian's energy clone suddenly laughed strangely, and quickly changed his handprints by hand. The laughter was extremely gloomy like a deadly ghost. Moreover, with the strange laughter and handprints of the Gorfian's energy clone, Xiao Yang clearly felt that the Gorfian's golden energy in his chest was shaking violently. The blood demon gold energy in the chest vibrated violently, and then turned into a force of evil, constantly attacking Xiao Yang's soul realm, battle Qi Si, and even the brain center, trying to occupy Xiao Yang's body and assimilate to become a member of the evil clan. Xiao Yang hugged his forehead tightly with both hands, a sense of powerlessness spread throughout his body. Damn! Xiao Yang gritted his teeth. The corners of his mouth were clearly showing a lot of blood because of the excessive force. But now Xiao Yang can't control so much anymore. This blood demon golden energy is too terrifying. Even if it is suppressed by the power of Xinyan Holy Flame, it cannot be completely suppressed. After all, it is still under the control of the blood demon energy clone Explo. Ah. A scream echoed in the shattered void. With the dirty method of the blood demon's energy clone, the immortal body that wrapped Xiao Yang's whole body disappeared instantly, and even above Xiao Yang's body, the power of the earthy yellow holy flame and the purple gold blood demon energy continued. You come and go, fighting in Xiao Yang's body. Damn it. Xiao Yang forcibly guarded his soul realm, the battle chi sea and the spiritual realm, letting the blood demon gold chi flow everywhere. Xiao Yang not only possesses the power of different fires, but also possesses the power of holy flames. Although there is no way to completely eradicate this evil blood demon golden energy, it can be done without being swallowed and assimilated by it. Go back to me. With a cold snort, Xiao Yang suddenly resounded in his heart, and then the incomparably domineering blood demon gold chi was directly forced back to his chest by Xiao Yang. Seal. Xiao Yang had just forced the blood demon golden energy back to his chest. Xiao Yang directly used the power of holy flame and the power of different fire to set up 10 layers of seals around him, and then he breathed heavily. Gorfian's golden chi is indeed evil, Xiao Yang said slightly in his heart. Just now he had finally seen the appearance of this Gorfian's golden chi bursting out. If it wasn't for Xiao Yang having the power of holy flame and strange fire, I'm afraid it can directly occupy the body and devour the soul by this blood demon golden energy. Gorfiend explode. Seeing this, the Gorfiend made his energy clone, although he wondered why Xiao Yang was not assimilated, but he didn't show anything. The black energy all over his body instantly snorted coldly, and a black ball was instantly born. Above the black ball, there is boundless evil power and power, even an 8-star Do-D perfect powerhouse, under this powerful blow, can't escape the fall. This is. Xiao Yang's body was weak for a while. After all, he just spent a lot of money to resist the outbreak of the blood demon's golden energy. However, after Xiao Yang saw the black ball condensed by the Gorfian's energy clone, a wave of death was attached to his heart. Bastard! Xiao Yang scolded weakly, and then saw that the Gorfian's energy clone instantly merged into the black ball, and an earth-shattering voice echoed. Go to hell! After speaking, the black ball that contained incomparable evil attacked Xiao Yang, and came to Xiao Yang in an instant. Xiao Yang shook his head helplessly. He was just about to mobilize the strange fire and burning judgment in his body, trying to detonate it to get a chance to escape, but the price was too expensive, and Xiao Yang would definitely not use it until the crisis. His life. It's mine. Just when Xiao Yang was about to detonate all the strange fires in his body, a familiar voice spread throughout this shattered space. Xiao Yang raised his head and saw a beautiful figure wrapped in the power of 10 colors. Kaylin. Xiao Yang stared blankly at the woman who was full of the aura of a ruthless queen beside him. Let's settle this first. A trace of anger appeared in Kaylin's pupils, and immediately stepped out of the cracked space without waiting for Xiao Yang to speak. The next moment, Kaylin directly recovered its body, and the huge body of the Shutsai swallowing python instantly filled this void. The huge snake tail of the color scales is mixed with the power of 10 colors, and viciously slaps the black ball that is incomparably evil. Boom boom boom. The terrifying attacks converged in an instant, but there was no fighting sparks in the sky. The seemingly incomparably powerful black ball was instantly split in half by the huge snake tail of the color scales, and then instantly disappear. 10-colored sky swallowing python? At the moment when the black ball just disappeared, the blood demon's energy clone appeared in the black chi. Humph. After resisting the black ball, Kaylin instantly recovered her figure, and then her body twisted and slowly appeared beside the Gorfian's energy clone. Forbidden. The jade hand lightly tapped it, and the Gorfian's energy clone that exuded surprise was instantly imprisoned by a force of 10 colors. Can't move a single bit. What should I do with this person? With a cold snort, he seemed to be asking Xiao Yang. Killed. Xiao Yang said calmly. Hands up and hands down. The power of the 10 colors that imprisoned the powerful Gorfiend energy clone suddenly compresses, crushing it in an instant. At this time, the energy clone of the Gorfiend has completely disappeared. Outside the distant Dakian world, there is another owner of the bloodline of the 10-colored sky-swallowing python in the Great Thousand Worlds. No, this matter is too important and must be told to several other messengers. After the Gorfiend finished speaking, he left in an instant, not knowing where to go. Are you okay? Xiao Yang looked at the incomparably powerful figure in front of him, and suddenly had mixed feelings for a while. What do you think? Kaylin clapped her hands after disappearing the Gorfian's energy clone, and then looked at the weak Xiao Yang with her arms folded, feeling rather resentful. Actually, I also have difficulties. When Kaylin stared at him so suddenly, Xiao Yang suddenly panicked and hurriedly explained. I don't care what your reasons are, but you remember. Your life is mine. Kaylin said indifferently, but the extremely difficult to conceal thoughts in her voice could not be faked. Haha, Xiao Yang. Don't look at the queen's arrogance. In fact, I think about you very tightly. When I merged the blood of the 10-colored swallowing python at the temple of Medusa before, if the queen hadn't missed you for a long time, I'm afraid I wouldn't have left so early. Devouring the blood of the Shutsai swallowing python is too terrifying. The queen talks about you every day. The Shutsai swallowing python who followed Kaylin laughed. Xiaoshe, talk too much. Kaylin floated her head and snorted coldly at Shutsai Tian python. You are the soul of the colorful swallowing python before? Xiao Yang heard this and felt amused immediately, because Xiao Yang knew about the arrogant temperament of Kaylin. Although it was not as outrageous as what Xiaoshe said, it was still inseparable. Right. I'm the colorful swallowing python that followed the queen before. Fortunately, you still remember me. Xiaoshe said angrily. Haha, I said that the breath is a little familiar, so it is. Xiao Yang laughed, but his memory was a little vague. If it wasn't for the 7-colored sky swallowing python's soul suppressing the color scales, this scene would never have happened. When the words fell, the heart rock swept into Xiao Yang's body directly. As for Long Yi, he had also returned to the ancient ruler of Yihua Heng to warm up. Only Xiao Yang, Kaylin, and Xiaoshe were left in the entire space. The space here is about to collapse. I know you have a lot of confusion. Let's go out and talk about it. Kaylin was the first to break the silence. Okay. Xiao Yang nodded in agreement after hearing this. Immediately, the three of them swept out of the shattered void and came to the side of the temple of Medusa. You ask. Kaylin's ruthless queen's aura was clearly restrained. At this time, Kaylin was like a good wife and mother. After coming out of that space passage, we dispersed, but I didn't miss any chance to find you guys. Xiao Yang smiled slowly, facing Kaylin. He always had a different emotion. What exactly were the creatures in that space tunnel back then? Kaylin didn't care so much. As long as Xiao Yang was fine, the others, with her indifferent temperament, would definitely not ask more. That's a friend of Emperor Tuorsha Gu. It's just that it was too seriously eroded by the evil race outside the territory. Xiao Yang did not hide it. It's fine. Kaylin said. After I came out of the space passage, I separated from Zuna and the others and came to Xian Santian. I just came here and I don't know where I live, and I simply met the strong men of the Medusa clan, which happened to be suppressed by the blood of the colorful swallowing python in my body, so I was sent to the temple of Medusa by them. The blood of the python. Kaylin's jade hand raised slightly, and the power of the 10 colors around him disappeared instantly. It's hard work. Seeing this, Xiao Yang didn't hesitate, hugged Cai Lin tightly, and the tightness of the body pulled both of them into their hearts a lot. Xiaoshe coughed awkwardly a few times as if he noticed the different eyes of the two. After all, Xiaoshe was a woman anyway. Okay, let's suppress the evil spirit in your body first. There was a tinge of crimson on Kaylin's pretty face, obviously facing Xiao Yang. Even Kaylin, who had always been like a still water, couldn't keep her mind at peace. Your strength. Xiao Yang was actually very puzzled. Although Kaylin was already a colorful swallowing python in Dochi continent, his strength couldn't have skyrocketed like this. According to Xiao Yang's speculation, this Kaylin's strength is probably stronger than that of Jularo. My strength has already reached the early stage of 1-star fighting immortals. All of this depends on that 10-colored sky swallowing python senior, and I also promised her some things. Tsaituan doesn't know what is in Xiao Yang's mind. Think. Immediately red lips moved. Don't worry, no matter when, I still have mine. Xiao Yang naturally knew that this swallowing python had some advantages that humans couldn't match since ancient times, so he was not too surprised by Kaylin's skyrocketing strength. After helping you suppress this evil force, I should help the Medusa family defeat the Xianling royal family. After that, I will follow you to the ends of the earth. A dull voice slowly spread over the desert. After finally being promoted to Dodi, how do you feel that you are back to the days when you were chased by Medusa women all day long in the Dochi continent? Xiao Yang helplessly smiled bitterly, but his pupils exuded an even more addictive idea. When the words fell, Kaylin helped Xiao Yang to suppress the blood demon gold chi, and Kaylin found that even with her fighting power, she couldn't completely take out the blood demon gold chi, and could only suppress it temporarily. According to Kaylin's estimation, if you want to completely eliminate this blood demon golden energy, you probably need at least 2 stars to fight immortal. You go first. The grievances between the Medusa clan and humans are too terrifying here. After doing all this, Kaylin immediately found a few not weak auras coming towards them. Xiao Yang, remember this for this king. Your life can only be mine. A cold voice echoed throughout the desert. This is Queen Medusa. Xiao Yan smiled. He didn't stop, but swept up and quickly escaped from the desert of death. Old snake, did something happen when you rushed to the temple of Medusa in such a hurry? Above the lonely desert of death, a seemingly not weak snake man spoke to the Snake King. The identity of this snake man is the leader of one of the 9 major tribes, Libu. After all, his strength has reached the late stage of the 8-star Do Emperor. Don't ask if you shouldn't. The Snake King said coldly. When Libu heard the words, he immediately shut up, because he knew that this time, seeing the leaders of the other 9 tribes around him this time was enough to prove that this time was a big deal. But looking at the appearance, it seems that the Medusa family is about to change. The Snake King smiled slightly, and the extremely bright 10-color power slowly appeared in the distance. Although neither the Snake King nor Shifu had any intention of ruling the 9 major tribes of Medusa, they both knew that if they wanted the Medusa family to completely get rid of this desert of death, they must elect a real king. It's almost there. Shifu was at the front of the team and said slowly, "At that time, in this team, there will be leaders and some important people among the 9 major tribes of Medusa. Are you here?" Above the desert of the lonely desert of death, Kaelin was playing with the fine sand, and the charming and enchanting body exuded a terrifying power. Only when the matter of helping the Medusa family is over can we return to him. What is that? With the arrival of Shifu, 2 extremely enchanting women slowly appeared on the desert in front of them, bold, to actually break into the Medusa temple without authorization. Li Bu looked at Kaelin and the 2, looked at a huge gap above the Medusa temple, and immediately said angrily, "Don't go." The Snake King just wanted to reach out to stop Li Bu, but was signaled by Snake Fu's eyes. Let him try it. After all, some of the leaders of our 9 major tribes of Medusa are quite unconvinced. Shifu deliberately raised his voice a few times and directly let the other leaders listen. "Humph. What kind of medicine are you 2 selling in the gourd, Snake King and Snake King?" Another middle-aged man snorted coldly, facing Shifu and said, "Uncle Mu, calm down. I think Grandma Shifu must have her intentions to do this, let's just watch it quietly." A silver bell-like voice suddenly sounded. The next moment, a 3-color light suddenly emerged, and then appeared in front of the crowd. That was a woman with 3-colored light all over her body. If Xiao Yang were here, they would definitely recognize that this woman was the 3-colored swallowing python that day when they entered the oasis of the Dead Desert Oasis for water. "I didn't expect you to come." The man who was called Uncle Mu by the 3-colored swallowing python woman saw this, and the anger in his heart gradually diminished. No less, this 3-colored swallowing python is one of the few hopes of their entire Medusa clan. Although the current strength is only a 6-star Do-D, it is rare that they are among the 9 major tribes of their Medusa clan. Any leader who sees it must be treated well. This is the power of the bloodline in the Medusa family. Strange, how can these 2 women give me a sense of fear that comes from the depths of my soul? The 3-colored swallowing python slowly turned into a figure and stood above the sky, its beautiful eyes facing the 2 women above the desert. "Look slowly. Queen, these people," Xiao Shi said as he looked at a menacing man coming from above the sky. "This is the Medusa family on the Xianling continent. Since I promised that senior, naturally I can't break my promise." Kaelin opened her mouth casually, but her eyes were fixed on the old snake man above the sky. Where did the blue and white snake go? Mu glanced around slightly. Kaelin knew the aura of the dozen or so people above the sky, but there was no blue and white snake among them, so she was immediately surprised. Because Kaelin was able to enter the temple of Medusa, it was the blue and white snake that overcame everyone's opinions and gave Kaelin a chance. Otherwise, there would be no chance for Kaelin to devour the blood of the Tenkai swallowing python. "I don't know where you came from, but if you trespass into my Medusa temple without authorization, there is only one dead end." The Libu man shouted, the huge fighting spirit in his hands condensed instantly, and then he was ready to attack the 2 Kaelin girls. "It's really some annoying flies," Kaelin said with dissatisfaction, and then did not wait for the man to do something. She let out a coquettish anger, and a force of 10 colors rose into the sky. Boom boom boom. A huge beam of 10-color power shot up into the sky, causing the space in the desert to shake violently, as if it would shatter at any time. This is... When the beam of 10-colored power rose into the sky, an unbelievable look slowly appeared on the 3-colored sky-swallowing python woman among the 9 major tribes of Medusa, with a pretty face. There was a rare heaviness above. The 3-colored swallowing python, whose name is Qin Yi, is a powerhouse whose strength has reached the early stage of the 6-star Do-D. "Grandma Shifu, is this true?" Qin Yi turned her head in disbelief and looked at Shifu, whose eyes were tightly closed. In the beam of light rising into the sky in front of him, there is clearly an extremely huge bloodline pressure. Qin Yi is familiar with that bloodline. Swallowing the python. Looks like she succeeded. When Xiaoqing sent her to the Temple of Medusa, most of you still disapproved. Now, it seems that Xiaoqing's eyesight is not comparable to those of you old fellows. Shifu's eyes slowly opened, deep-colored eyes. The eyes looked at the color scale above the desert and opened. Is it really the legendary swallowing python? Facing the 10-colored power that soared into the sky, many tribal leaders immediately felt adoration from the bottom of their heart. Guardian of the Temple of Medusa, Shifu, greet Her Majesty the Queen. Just as many tribal leaders hurriedly resisted the repressive force from the bottom of their hearts, Shifu's figure moved and disappeared in the sky in an instant, and then appeared in the desert. Facing Kailin Road. Senior Shifu, what are you doing? Some tribal leaders who couldn't hold their breath immediately felt a little angry, and were extremely puzzled by Shifu's actions. Senior, please get up, I can't bear it. Kailin helped Shifu up, but when she saw that Shifu couldn't kneel, she understood. I'm the first to disagree. How can an outsider be the king of our Medusa clan? The sky filled with dissatisfaction. Just as the man spoke, the Shifu's eyes moved slightly, and an extremely weak message entered Kailin's mind. Aren't you satisfied? Kailin opened her mouth slightly, Qianying turned around, and with it, an extremely bright 10-color power appeared in her hand. Are you convinced? Kailin got the Shifu's understanding, and immediately didn't bother to talk nonsense with these people. I don't agree. An outsider is also trying to dominate our Medusa clan. It's a fool's dream. After the man Libu finished speaking, his whole body moved, and the later stage of the 8-star Dodi emerged instantly. Then take you. Kill the chickens to warn the monkeys. A domineering and cold voice came from Kailin's mouth, and then Kailin's pupils instantly changed to colorless, a terrifying strength of a fighting immortal powerhouse and a 10-colored swallowing python. Breath, both come together, pretending to be a ghost. At this point, the man had no choice but to bite the bullet. Go. With a wave of Kailin's jade hand, the power of 10 colors roared away. Look, I see through your tricks. The man shouted loudly, just about to take Kailin's blow, but he was directly knocked back hundreds of meters by the power of 10 colors. There is blood on the corners of the mouth, and wounds of different degrees on the body. You woman, you are really ruthless. Some leaders who couldn't stand it also said. Don't worry, he's not dead, he just passed out. After Cai Lin finished speaking, the breath of his body was instantly released. It's really the power of the 10-colored sky-swallowing python that only appeared in the legend. Facing the colorful scales and the blood of the 10-colored sky-swallowing python in their bodies, the last hope in the hearts of these tribal leaders was instantly shattered. Because they know that no matter what her origins are, since she has obtained the inheritance of the 10-colored sky-swallowing python, she will become the king of the Medusa clan from now on. Let's go, Queen, let's go to the palace first. Seeing Kailin shocked these people, Shifu spoke immediately. Kailin heard the words and slowly withdrew her power, like a simple woman. It seems that the good days of the Xianling royal family are coming to an end. The Snake King followed, slowly looking at the Xianling royal family in the distance. This video will end here.